Hello, Scoobies. How you all doing? I hope you're doing good. I have no alcohol in this house. Well, I do, but that's not the point. Stuck drinking Pepsi. Anywho. So, I've been doing this series When Magic Can't Help You for a while now, and I came up with an interesting topic last night while talking to my prehistoric fake witch friend. Enjoy the shade. And we were talking, I don't think we even touched on this subject. I think I brought up something about my When Magic Can't Help You series. And we talked something about like mental and medical, but it was like a brief, like 10-second thing. I swear to God, we were talking last night, and I was like, if half of these chats, which we've only done 2, so if both of these chats were to be live, people would either think we're freaks, or they would hate us even more than they might already do. But that's not my problem. But we're both really excited to do this pilot episode in August for Beyond the Cauldron, because I think it would be fun. Anyways, getting back on topic. So today's video is When Magic Can't Help You Addiction. Now, I've already covered being addicted to magic. And just a recap in case you haven't seen that video, it's a very real thing. It basically means when you run to the altar for every single tiny little thing ever. It doesn't matter if your cat took a shit on the carpet, or you lost your job, or you're too lazy to go find a man. Like, it really doesn't matter what the issue is. People who are addicted to magic will run to their altar for anything. You look at them sideways on the internet, they're cursing you. You think about them on the internet, and they're cursing you. Whatever the case may be. And it's funny. Those people belong in the When Magic Can't Help You mental, because that one talks about like depression and social anxiety and so on and so forth. But those people who are addicted to magic, they have both feet in the magical world, in the spiritual world, if you will. And those people don't understand the mundane aspects. They think that magic will solve every little problem, from wiping their ass all the way up to getting them $1 million, like anything. But today's addiction, I'm talking about drugs and alcohol and just general behavior that we would consider addiction. So I see a lot of posts in Facebook groups about, mommy's a drug addict, and is there a spell to cure her of her addiction? Or daddy is an abusive alcoholic, and is there a way to cure him of this and make him a better person? And the answer is no. There is no spell. There is no magical solution. And put an arithmetic at the end of that. Because the arithmetic will state that there is magical aid among, basically anytime I say when magic can't help you, solely alone, magic cannot help you. Okay? You can't run to the altar and expect to cure mommy of her prostitution and drug addiction and all of that jazz. You can't run to the altar when little brother's addicted to cocaine. Okay, like it doesn't work. The first thing that you need to do, if you care about these people, is to look up resources to help them with their addictions. And this mostly pertains to like alcohol and gaming and, anything that would be considered an addiction such that they will put that addiction above everything else in their life, regardless of the consequences. So maybe, little sister is a gamer and she'll put Call of Duty above anything, relationships, family, work, whatever it is. She is playing that game all the time, every day. My first advice would be to search up ways to help them. Maybe there are institutions, maybe there are resources, maybe there are crisis lines, maybe there's counseling, whatever the case may be. The second thing, which is and isn't recommended by a lot of people, but depending on your resources and the people that you get involved, there might be time for an intervention. And a lot of people need to hit rock bottom first. A lot of people need to slam their face into the ground and realize that they have lost everything and they have done so much damage with their addiction to their relationships and just their life in general. And some people will never hit rock bottom. And there's a consensus that by hitting rock bottom, you are ready to accept that you're addicted to whatever it is that you're addicted to, that's having such a huge impact on your life, and be able to make the changes necessary in order to, overcome that addiction. It's a long road, and magic can help you help that person, but it can't solely be the answer. And that's what the whole When Magic Can't Help You series is about. Over the last year I've been doing this, or 2 years, I don't know. I think I said in a previous video a year. I don't fucking know. Go find my first one and tell me when that was. But the basis is that if you rely solely on magic, if you go to Hecate or the Morrigan or Odin or whatever god or goddess or entity or spirit or ancestor that you worship in your magical practice, and you just say, I want you to help them get over this, chances are they're going to ask you, well, what's been done in the mundane world? Oh, well, nothing, because they don't really want the help. Well, what the hell is magic gonna do? If daddy is a raging alcoholic and he does not give a fuck and does not want to change, I think it's best that you distance yourself from daddy until he realizes that, hey, everybody around me has left me and I'm alone at the bottom of this bottle and I don't want to be here. So maybe I should, go to AA. You can help. You can use magic to help them see what's going on around them, but you can't solely rely on magic. There is no one spell to fix a situation when it comes to addiction, because addiction is a mental health issue. It becomes a mental health issue. It is a mental health issue. Alcoholism is a disease. Drug addiction is a disease. Internet addiction is a disease. Porn addiction is a disease, and gaming addiction is a disease. And I put those last three in quotes because I don't actually know if it's been stated by whatever health organizations in your country to be a disease. I wonder if vaping has an addiction. Well, that would be nicotine, but I'm not really going to give up my job for nicotine. But you get my point. It's troubling when I see people who want magical solutions to these very stressful, emotional roller coaster situations, especially when it's dealing with family or loved ones or very close friends. They expect magic to solve all their problems. And we live in this society where we expect all of our problems to be solved by somebody else. And we take no blame for anything. At all. Ever. Hi, millennials. How you doing? It's kind of retarded in a huge way, especially with a new generation of witches coming in and thinking that magic can solve everything. They might have issues in their own life where they're like, oh, I can't solve this, and then they find witchcraft or Wicca or whatever magical tradition, and they're like, oh, this is the answer to... No. Stop right there. Because as I've said in every video before this one, and will say in every video after this one, magic is not always the solution. There's a time and a place. Imagine just taking a gun and shooting everything that was your problem. I mean, oh, I don't want to deal with the mail lady today, so I'll just blow her brains out. I don't want to deal with my therapist today. I don't want to deal with my school teacher today. That one probably was in poor taste, but you get where I'm going with this, right? There is a time and a place for things. I mean, if somebody's trespassing on your property and you live in a state where it's legal to shoot first and ask questions later, I mean, time and place. Maybe a gun analogy was not a good idea. But you get the point, right? Like, time and place. People in the magical community are generally stupid. They think, like I've already stated, that magic can solve every problem ever. And they don't look at the mundane situations. I don't apply that to all people in the magical community, but I do apply that to a vast majority of you. When you think that, oh, you know, daddy's dealing with a cocaine and alcohol and heroin addiction, and I'll just cast a spell to make him see how horrible it is and do absolutely no mundane, no work, find him no resources, intervene in no way that would be deemed safe and healthy for everybody involved, and just expect witchcraft to solve it, your idiocy is really fucking high. Really fucking high. There is a time and a place. So the you know, it would be after you have reached out to the necessary resources and crisis centers and support groups to find the heroin, cocaine, alcoholic, addicted person the help that they need. And if they don't want that help, if they shut the door and they say, I don't want your help, I don't want anything, you know, maybe a spell to show them what the damage is being done. But at the same time, I mean, if a person doesn't want to see something, like I said in previous videos, then they're not going to see it, and you're wasting your time. So this is where magic can't really help you. Can magic help you when dealing with addiction? For sure, it can. But if you're the one suffering from the addiction and you don't want the help that other people are trying to provide you, and you think that witchcraft will cure your addiction to cigarettes or your addiction to cocaine or whatever you're addicted to, but you're not willing to put in any work at all, mundane, and you just think that, oh, if I just go to the altar and I need to quit smoking, and so I'll just cast a spell. I mean, yes, you're doing some work, I suppose, in curing your addiction and putting the thought process and the intention out there that you want this to stop, but what are you doing outside of the magic? What are you doing, you know, to... It's like finding a job. Like, if you go to the altar and you expect a job to be found and you do a spell, and sure, you're putting the intention out to the universe that you want a job, but what have you, like, what resumes have you handed out? What interviews have you gone to? What recruiters have you talked to? I fucking hate recruiters. They're the dumbest fucking twats ever. But you get the point. Like, what have you done to get the job that you want? And that goes with the addiction. If you want to quit smoking, what have you done in the mundane? Have you thrown away your cigarettes? Are you smoking as you do the spell? Right? Like, I want to quit smoking, but I'm just going to keep smoking while I do the spell to quit smoking. Like, it doesn't make any logical sense in my brain at all. Like, fuck wrong with you? So, to sum up this video, magic can't help you in situations of addiction if you or the person afflicted by the addiction doesn't want the help, doesn't want to take the resources presented to them, hasn't really hit rock bottom. It's not really gonna do anything. It's not. Where it can help is when the person is ready to see that, hey, I have a problem here and maybe I should be looking for resources, or I should accept Billy Bob's, resources to go to AA or to go into an addiction treatment facility or whatever the case may be. But magic isn't going to help those who don't want to be helped, especially when it comes to addiction. Okay? So I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I have one more that I want to make, and until next time, my fabulous Scoobies, stay not addicted.